what we know about the history of civilization be incomplete? Could ancient secrets be lying underground, in the depths of the earth, waiting to be discovered? A colossal stone temple, built 11,000 years ago and hidden beneath the soil for centuries. Whose work was it, and why was it buried? In the heart of Anatolia, a man knocks down a wall under his house and finds tunnels descending 18 levels deep. Who built this underground city, large enough to shelter 20,000 people, and for what purpose? In the fertile lands of Mesopotamia, cities are being built and writing is being invented for the first time. What lies behind this leap of civilization? Millennia later, across the oceans, the Maya people build magnificent cities, observing the stars and developing complex calendars. Yet this splendid civilization suddenly collapses, and its cities filled with pyramids vanish into the depths of the jungle for centuries. Are these mysterious findings isolated events, or could they be pieces of a common story deep in the past? Let's take a closer look at the first of these mysterious stories. At Göbekli Tepe in the Şanlıurfa province of Turkey, dated to around 11,000 years ago, circa 9,600 BCE, Göbekli Tepe is about twice as old as Stonehenge and is known as the world's oldest temple complex. This archaeological site near Şanlıurfa sits atop an artificial mound and consists of a series of circular structures with T-shaped monolithic pillars. Each of these massive limestone pillars, over 5 meters tall and weighing up to about 50 tons, is arranged in circles to form a monumental ceremonial site, and the surfaces of the pillars are adorned with relief carvings of animals such as lions, foxes, gazelles, and birds. Perhaps the most astonishing aspect of Göbekli Tepe is that this monumental complex was built by hunter-gatherer people before the transition to agriculture and settled life. Excavations have not uncovered domesticated animal bones or cultivated plant remains at the site. In other words, the community that built these enormous structures in the 10th millennium BCE were still hunter-gatherers who had not yet adopted farming. This fact upended the traditional view of first agriculture, then monumental architecture, shaking our understanding of the origins of civilization and demonstrating that religious structures could be built even before the adoption of settled farming. The structures of Göbekli Tepe remained buried under soil for thousands of years, which allowed them to be preserved to the present day. In fact, Göbekli Tepe was, in a sense, buried by its builders themselves. The concentric temple enclosures were backfilled with earth and rubble at the end of their use, sealing them off before new circles were built nearby. This mysterious hill went unnoticed for centuries, and although a survey in the 1,960 seconds first drew the attention of researchers, no one realized its importance at the time. When German archaeologist Klaus Schmidt arrived and began excavations in 1994, the true significance of Göbekli Tepe became evident, and the first unearthed pillars caused a sensation in the archaeological world. Today, Göbekli Tepe is regarded as one of the greatest mysteries of human history. The question of who built this temple and why still hasn't been fully answered. Debates continue over the meaning of the animal carvings, the function of the temple, and its role in society, and each new discovery raises new questions about this prehistoric monument. After exploring Göbekli Tepe rising under the open sky, let us now turn our attention underground. Cappadocia, in the heart of Anatolia, is as famous for its towering fairy chimneys as it is for its mysterious cities carved deep underground. The largest of these underground cities, Derinkuyu, existed in secret beneath people's feet for centuries and was only discovered by chance in the 20th century. In 1963, a homeowner in the town of Derinkuyu in Cappadocia was demolishing a wall in his basement when he noticed something he never expected. Behind the wall, a dark passage and what appeared to be endless tunnels were revealed. It was quickly understood that this passage was the entrance to an underground city hidden for millennia. An ancient megacity was discovered that descended about 85 meters, some 18 levels, below ground, and could accommodate 20,000 people. There is still no definitive information on who built the Derinkuyu underground city or when they did so. According to some researchers, the first tunnels carved into the soft volcanic tuff may have been created by the Phrygians living in the region around the 8th century BCE. It took centuries for the city to attain its present form. During the Roman and Byzantine periods, Derinkuyu was expanded and made deeper, and it served as a large communal refuge for the local populace during periods of conflict, especially the Arab-Byzantine wars in the 8th and 9th centuries CE. The tunnels of Derinkuyu were not confined to a single underground city. They extended in a network roughly 8 kilometers long to connect with another underground city, Göbekli. Thanks to this connection, the two cities formed an integrated underground defense system, allowing thousands of people to move safely below ground in times of danger. An examination of Derinkuyu's interior layout reveals that it was a fully equipped underground living space. The city contained virtually every element a settlement on the surface would need: vertical shafts for ventilation, deep wells for water, storage rooms for provisions, workshops for making wine and oil, stables, kitchens, communal dining areas, refectories, and small chapels designated for worship were spread throughout different levels of the complex. There is even a spacious room with a barrel-vaulted ceiling on Derinkuyu's second level. It has been reported that this chamber was once used as a missionary school, with adjacent rooms serving as study areas for students. Thanks to all these amenities, it is understood that a population taking refuge in Derinkuyu could live underground for weeks, perhaps even months, sustained by food and water stores, fresh air circulation, and spaces for worship. Derinkuyu served as a refuge that was used when needed and then abandoned again for centuries. During the Mongol incursions in the 14th century, the populace once again took shelter in these underground tunnels. It is known that even in the Ottoman period, the local Christian population would descend into Derinkuyu for safety during times of persecution. In the 1920s, when the Greek Orthodox community of Cappadocia left the region during the population exchange, these underground cities were completely deserted and forgotten. Until its accidental discovery in the 1960s, Derinkuyu remained a secret forgotten even by the local inhabitants. The ground beneath houses and fields had concealed such a huge mystery for centuries. The existence of this incredible underground complex is a striking example of the creative solutions people in the past developed in response to the dangers they faced. Whatever motivated the construction of Derinkuyu, whether the instinct to survive invasions, religious reasons, or some other purpose, the end result stands as a triumph of human determination and engineering skill despite technological limitations. These dark tunnels and chambers shed light on the struggle for life thousands of years ago, and at the same time spark curiosity about what else might be waiting to be discovered. Now, let us emerge from the depths of the underground and embark on a journey to the very first chapters of civilized history. Thousands of years after Göbekli Tepe, but long before the construction of Derinkuyu, humanity was building its first true cities and laying the foundations of civilization in the land of Mesopotamia. The Sumerian civilization emerged in the 4th millennium BCE in southern Mesopotamia, in what is now Iraq, forming the first city-states and a developed culture in history. This society, often called the cradle of civilization, pioneered many innovations in areas such as language, writing, governance, law, agriculture, and architecture, and is considered the founder of civilization in the modern sense. The Sumerian cities Eridu, Uruk, Ur, Nippur, Lagash, Kish were organized as independent city-states, each encircled by protective walls and filled with temples and palaces, functioning as metropolises of their time. The world's earliest known written records also belong to the Sumerians. Around the 3200 seconds BCE in the Sumerian city of Uruk, clay tablets were inscribed with cuneiform writing to document commercial transactions and inventory lists. Over time, cuneiform writing evolved to encompass literary works, prayers, and laws as well. Sumerian king epics and texts such as creation and flood myths were recorded on tablets in this script. The Sumerians also produced the first examples of monumental architecture. From the early 3000s BCE, they built temple platforms in their cities, and in later periods, stepped pyramid-like temples known as ziggurats began rising toward the sky. For example, the White Temple platform at Uruk, or the famous Great Ziggurat of Ur, showcased this civilization's advancements in engineering and religious life. Sumerian society was also advanced in astronomy and mathematics. They recorded the movements of celestial bodies, used a lunar calendar for dating, and operated with a base 60 numeral system. Evidence of the first use of the wheel and the first drawn wagons in history is also attributed to the Sumerians, with these innovations beginning to appear in Mesopotamia in the 3000s BCE. Thanks to all these firsts, the Sumerians built a foundation upon which subsequent civilizations, the Akkadians, Babylonians, and Assyrians, would rise. Over time, the traces of this great civilization from millennia ago became buried in the earth and forgotten. The Sumerian cities turned into abandoned mounds over the centuries. Beneath layers of wind-blown sand and earth, their temples and palaces remained hidden for a long time. For thousands of years, no one remembered the story of the Sumerians, until archaeologists began excavations in Mesopotamia in the 19th century. From the 1840s onward, the first excavations and the decipherment of cuneiform brought a forgotten world back into the light. Through these efforts, the existence of the Sumerians, their language, and their achievements were rediscovered by modern scholarship. For example, excavations at the city of Ur in the 1920s, led by Sir Leonard Woolley, uncovered the royal tombs filled with gold objects and precious stones, yielding important insights into Sumerian art and social structure. The Sumerians, once humanity's first civilization, were rediscovered after millennia of oblivion, and our knowledge about the origins of human history has deepened with this discovery. Yet a lingering mystery remains. How did the Sumerians attain this suddenly emergent level of civilization? The rapid transition from hunter-gatherer villages to city-states with written laws within a few centuries, was it the result of internal social dynamics, or were they carrying the legacy of an older, as yet undiscovered body of knowledge? Today, scientists note that Sumerian civilization's development can be traced entirely locally, with no evidence of intervention by another lost civilization. Yet this question still retains its mystery in the minds of history enthusiasts. Now, we leave behind this first Old World civilization and travel across the ocean to the lands of an ancient New World civilization. In the tropical forests of Central America, the Maya civilization developed independently and became one of the most remarkable civilizations in world history. The Maya existed in Mesoamerica from around 1000 BCE until the Spanish conquests in the 16th century. During their peak, the Classic period, AD 250–900, they made great strides in science, art, and urban development. The Maya civilization consisted of various city-states and was geographically spread across what is today Guatemala, southeastern Mexico, Belize, and parts of Honduras and El Salvador. This civilization built great cities, famed for their pyramid-shaped temples, broad ceremonial plazas, stone stele monuments, and impressive palaces. Cities like Tikal, Palenque, Calakmul, Copan, and Chichen Itza housed tens of thousands of inhabitants and supported a vibrant urban life fed by the surrounding agricultural lands. The intellectual achievements of Maya society were remarkable. They developed their own writing system, hieroglyphic script, possessed advanced mathematical knowledge, independently inventing the concept of zero, and were highly skilled in astronomy. The Maya systematically observed the sky, recording the movements of the sun, moon, and planets, and used these observations to create calendars. They had one of the world's most advanced calendars. They could calculate the solar year with great accuracy and even predict solar and lunar eclipses in advance. All of these accomplishments were achieved without the use of the wheel or metal tools, and without draft animals. Despite technological limitations, the Maya built temples, pyramids, irrigation systems, and straight stone highways, essentially moving mountains with human labor alone. During the Classic period, the Maya region supported a huge population. According to recent research, this civilization's populace may have numbered in the millions, with some estimates suggesting it exceeded 10 million people. Maya cities were connected by a dense network of trade routes and roads. White stone causeways known as sakbiab were laid through the jungles, linking cities and towns together. However, this magnificent civilization began to decline unexpectedly. Starting from the 9th century AD, many of the southern Maya cities were abandoned one after another. Monumental structures fell into disrepair, the ruling elite vanished, and written inscriptions ceased. The exact causes of the Maya collapse are still not fully understood, but possible explanations include severe droughts, resource depletion, pandemics, internal wars, or a combination of such factors. Some of the people who left the cities dispersed into rural areas or migrated to regions in the north, but the magnificent city centers they left behind were at the mercy of nature. In time, the jungle reclaimed these stone cities. Trees grew over pyramids, palaces, and plazas. Thick vines enveloped the walls, and the cities were effectively swallowed by the forest. For centuries, the the locations of many of them were forgotten. The great cities of the Maya civilization faded into legend and the lore of local people, becoming lost treasures. When the Spanish arrived in the region in the 16th century, they encountered the ruins of some Maya cities. For example, the great Chichen Itza was still active, but many cities remained hidden under dense jungle cover. Starting in the mid-19th century, explorers and archaeologists began to rediscover these lost cities. In the 1840s, John Lloyd Stephens and Frederick Catherwood visited several Maya ruins such as Copan, Palenque, and Uxmal in Central America, and introduced them to the world with detailed drawings and narratives. These discoveries caused a great sensation in the Western world. The splendor of these once lost cities was revealed for the first time through Catherwood's illustrations. Throughout the 20th century, archaeologists uncovered many ancient Maya sites in the Petén jungles of Guatemala and in hidden corners of the Yucatan Peninsula. Moreover, today, thanks to advanced technologies, our pace of discovering unknown traces of Maya civilization has increased even further. In 2018, by using aerial laser scanning, LIDAR, researchers identified over 60,000 architectural remains that had been hidden for centuries under the Guatemalan forests. This finding revealed that the ancient Maya cities were far larger and more interconnected than previously thought. Across a mapped area of 2,100 square kilometers, countless previously unknown houses, temples, roads, and defensive structures emerged. This shows that the classic period Maya civilization was a densely populated mega-society with advanced infrastructure. Thanks to this technology, settlements that had been hidden for centuries in the depths of the jungle are being brought to light one by one. Indeed, quite recently in 2024, a fully developed Maya city named Valeriana was discovered in Mexico's Campeche state with the aid of LIDAR. The city's pyramids, plazas, and water reservoirs were revealed for the first time after being covered by dense jungle for centuries. Maya cities that slept within the jungle for centuries are awakening thanks to modern science and technology. These discoveries not only show that there are still aspects of Maya civilization we haven't fully unraveled, but also remind us that there may be many more ancient structures around the world waiting to be discovered. The fact that these cities, once teeming with millions of people and rich in science and art, could be swallowed by nature and vanish from sight is a striking example of the surprises history hides from us. The superimposed and buried temples of Göbekli Tepe, the dark passageways of Derinkuyu, the tablets of the Sumerians forgotten under the sands, and the pyramids of the Maya overtaken by the jungle. All of them show us that the past is more mysterious and layered than we might think. These examples reveal that societies which lived on different continents and in different eras can meet a similar fate, the fate of being forgotten and subsumed into the earth. There may be countless more ancient settlements waiting to be brought to light, and each archaeological discovery adds a new piece to the great puzzle of human history. Although there is no evidence of a direct link between these civilizations across different regions, the story of each points to a common truth. The power of time and nature can hide the works of humankind, but not utterly destroy them. Today, as we walk through the streets of our cities or plow our fields, we may unknowingly be walking above some ancient structure, tomb, or temple beneath our feet. With the aid of advanced technologies, satellite imagery, ground-penetrating radar, LIDAR scans, new discoveries are being made every year. Legends we thought were mere fairy tales yesterday can turn into archaeological realities today. For this reason, the effort to unravel the mysteries of the past is unending. Each new excavation, each new technology shines a bit more light into the depths of history. The chain of stories from Göbekli Tepe to the Maya cities is part of humankind's passion for rediscovering its forgotten heritage. In conclusion, the traces of lost civilizations remind us of this. History is a living story, as long as we continue to explore it. Who knows what other secrets, what ancient cities, lie beneath our feet waiting to be discovered?